You have met this person before. They show up in simple clothes. They drive a normal car. They never make a big scene when the bill comes. They do not name-drop expensive places, talk about what things cost, or try to make sure everyone knows how well they are doing. From the outside, they look completely ordinary. And then one day, you find out they are worth millions. That is the thing about real upper-class wealth. It often does not announce itself. In fact, the people who have it are usually very careful not to make it obvious, because visible wealth creates attention. It changes relationships. It invites assumptions, requests, comparisons, and pressure. So the truly wealthy often learn to move differently, quietly, carefully, without needing applause. In this video, I am going to show you 5 signs someone is upper class but hiding it. And once you understand these signs, you will start noticing that real wealth often looks much calmer, simpler, and more understated than people expect. If you want more videos that help you understand money, class, and real wealth beyond appearances, subscribe to the channel. Sign number 1. They never mention what things cost. This is one of the most subtle signs, but once you notice it, it becomes hard to ignore. People who are performing wealth often bring up prices. The vacation cost this much. The renovation ran this much. The watch, the car, the dinner, the hotel, all of it somehow becomes part of the story. Because for them, the price is part of the performance. It is not just a detail, it is the proof. They want the number to do social work for them. They want people to understand that something was expensive, exclusive, or impressive. But people who are truly comfortable with wealth usually do not need you to know what something cost. They do not use price as proof. They do not turn spending into a status signal. They let the money disappear from the conversation. And that silence says a lot. Because when someone constantly mentions what things cost, it can reveal that the money still feels emotionally significant to them. The price still has weight. It still needs to be noticed. It still needs to be validated. But when someone never mentions it, there is often a different kind of comfort there. They can enjoy the meal without turning the check into a story. They can take the trip without making the cost part of the identity. They can own nice things without needing the room to know how much those things were worth. They are not trying to impress you with the number. They are comfortable enough to leave it unsaid. Sign number 2. Their clothes are understated, but everything fits perfectly. Hidden upper-class style is usually not loud. You will not always see big logos, obvious designer labels, or anything that screams for attention. In fact, from a distance, the outfit may look almost ordinary. A plain sweater, a simple shirt, a pair of shoes that do not immediately announce themselves. But up close, something is different. The fit is right. The fabric moves better. The shoes are cared for. The jacket sits properly on the shoulders. Nothing looks forced, flashy, or overdone. That is the signal. People trying to look wealthy often rely on brands to speak for them. People who are actually comfortable in that world usually rely on quality, fit, and restraint. They understand that real refinement does not need a logo across the chest. It shows up in the details, the hem length, the tailoring, the material, the way everything looks easy instead of assembled for attention. They are not dressing for strangers who need to be impressed. They are dressing in a way that feels natural to the people who already understand the code. That is why real upper-class presentation often looks simple at first. It is not about display, it is about quiet refinement, quality without shouting. Sign number 3. They ask questions and rarely perform their own success. This is where hidden wealth starts showing up socially, not materially. People who are trying to signal status often talk about themselves, their job, their title, their achievements, their recent wins, the important people they know. The conversation becomes a stage where they can prove they matter. But people who are genuinely secure usually move differently. They ask questions, good questions, specific questions. They want to know what you do, what you think, what you're working on, what you care about. They listen without constantly trying to redirect the conversation back to themselves. And that says something. Because when someone has nothing left to prove, they do not need every conversation to become a performance. They do not need to explain how important they are. They do not need to compete for attention in the room. Their confidence is not coming from being noticed. It is coming from security. That kind of calm curiosity is often a quiet upper-class signal. They are not trying to dominate the room. They are comfortable enough to listen, ask, and let other people speak. Sign number 4. They have long relationships with trusted service providers. This is a quiet sign most people overlook. Someone hiding real wealth usually is not constantly switching accountants, attorneys, advisors, tailors, mechanics, or dentists just to save a few dollars. They value something more important than the lowest price. They value trust. The same accountant may have handled their taxes for years. The same attorney may know their family situation, their estate plan, and their business history. The same advisor, mechanic, or tailor may have been around long enough to understand exactly how they like things done. That kind of continuity is not accidental. It is infrastructure. People with lasting wealth understand that reliable relationships save time, reduce mistakes, and protect them from unnecessary problems. They are not always looking for the newest option or the cheapest option. They are looking for the person they can trust to do the job correctly. That is why hidden wealth often moves through quiet networks. Long relationships, strong referrals, trusted professionals, reliability over novelty. Because once someone has proven they can protect your time, your money, and your peace of mind, replacing them just to save a little usually makes no sense. Sign number 5. They stay calm when money news makes everyone else emotional. This is one of the deepest signs, because it is not about clothes, houses, or conversation. It is about psychology. When markets drop, headlines get dramatic, or everyone starts talking about the economy, most people react emotionally. They check their accounts. They panic. They argue about what might happen next. A small drop can feel like a personal emergency, but people who have lived with wealth for a long time usually respond differently. They notice what is happening, but they do not spiral. They have seen cycles before: booms, crashes, recessions, recoveries, panic, optimism, all of it. So a rough week in the market does not shake their entire identity. They react like an experienced sailor watching weather. They may adjust the sails, but they do not scream at the clouds. That calm is not accidental. It comes from preparation, perspective, and enough financial structure to avoid making decisions from fear. And that may be the strongest hidden sign of all, because real wealth does not just change what someone owns, it changes how much pressure they feel when the world gets noisy. Hidden wealth is not always secrecy. A lot of the time, it is strategy. People who are upper class but hiding it usually understand something most people learn too late. Visible wealth creates friction. It changes how people treat you. It invites assumptions, requests, comparison, resentment, and attention that they may not want. So instead of announcing wealth, they practice discretion. They do not talk about prices. They dress with restraint. They ask questions instead of performing status. They build long relationships with people they trust. And when financial noise makes everyone else emotional, they stay calm. These are not just signs for guessing who has money. They are a blueprint for how lasting wealth behaves when it no longer needs applause. Because real wealth does not always want to be seen. Sometimes it wants to be protected. And the good news is, these behaviors can be developed intentionally. Discretion, restraint, calm, trust, and long-term thinking are not reserved for people born into money. They are habits anyone can start practicing. If this helped you see wealth differently, subscribe to the channel for more videos on money, class, and real financial behavior. And let me know in the comments, which of these signs have you noticed before? And if you want to keep going, watch the next video on things genuinely wealthy people never waste money on.